What's up? Welcome into your Monday daily Buckeye Blitz. It is a Monday, November 27th, 2023. I have consumed a case worth of vodka over the last 48 hours, so I might look a little weird. Just kidding. Tried. Case of vodka and half a case of bourbon. Maybe it was the other way around. Who's to say? Anyways, we're going to continue our schedule. Mondays are the offensive grades and stats. Tuesday we'll do the defense. I don't think we're getting a press conference with Ryan Day and Jim Knowles this week. If we do, pay attention. Make sure you're subscribed here, and I'll have that for you. But we do the highlights typically. But I don't think we're doing that this week. And we'll see what kind of scenarios need to play out for the Buckeyes to get back in the playoff hunt. Of course, the CFP rankings will come out Tuesday night. So we'll talk about that probably on the Wednesday live show. But anyway, today, offense. Who got it done, who didn't? Total yards actually outgained the Cheaters 378 to 338. Kyle threw for 271, but he did have the two picks. Again, yes, I'm going to continue to say that the second pick at the end of the game was not his fault. He was getting hit because the pass protection broke down. Let me come and hit you while you're trying to throw the ball and see where it ends up. This seems pretty logical. Common sense, but some people miss that. Anyway, third downs, 4 of 9, under 50%, not great. Did not go for it at all on fourth down. That is a game management issue that I have beef with Ryan Day on at the end of the first half, attempting the field goal, missing it instead of trying to get the first down at the Cheaters' 35-yard line. Anyway, all in all, the offense did put up some numbers here. 24 points, that's good against the best defense in the country. I'll take that. But it just did not get it in the end zone enough. And again, I said it in the instant reaction show on Sunday, little mistakes or mistakes, period, no matter what, are all magnified. And when you throw a pick and set them up in the red zone in the first quarter, that's putting your team behind the 8 ball. And I think that changes play calling somewhat for Ryan Day because you're constantly playing catch up, and they caught up, but they could not get over the hump and take the lead and hold it. Part of that's on the defense, but anyways, that's just general thoughts. Trey, 19 carries, 60 yards, a 3.2 average. Could not find a crease for him. Could not find an opening on the edges. I think they ran him up the gut too much, personally. I think they should have been running more toss, more stretch plays, things like that. And he only got 4 targets, out of the backfield as a receiver. So I think you could have ramped those up if he wasn't getting going in the run game. Chip had 6 carries, 37 yards, had a big 12-yarder. Nice 6.2 average. X-Man had a big first down, a 9-yard carry. And then receivers, Marv, 118, 9 targets, 5 catches. Did have the touchdown there. Fleming, 3 targets, 3 catches, 58 yards. Good to see him come around. Probably need to hang on to it. And Cade, 3 catches, 6 targets. Emeka, 3 catches on 6 targets. And like I mentioned, Trey, 3 on 4 targets. X-Man, 1 on 1 target. No penalties on the offense. The one lone penalty was on special teams. Shocking, I know. But let's look at Kyle's numbers here. He, at one point, in the second quarter, first quarter, second quarter, 10-17 to go in the second quarter. He started a nice run of 6 in a row, then an incompletion, then had 4 more completions in a row in the third quarter. So this was typical Kyle. I mean, except for the picks, he started slow and then got hot early second quarter, and then into the third, he started off well, was hitting some big plays, just could not get it done. Anyways, let's go look at the grades here. Let's start with Kyle's passing direction chart here. Let me share that with you. This is what we always do on Mondays. All right. So we actually attempted 7 deep balls over 20 yards. A lot of that was, big plays that we needed to make, especially later in the game. But completed 4 of 7. That's really good. I'll take that. 16. I'm sorry. And then so 57.1%. Medium, 10 to 20 yards. 2 of 4. Short, 0 to 10 yards. 9 for 15. The 2 touchdowns, but also threw the pick right in that range as well. 3 for 3 behind the line of scrimmage, of course. Really, short center has been his bread and butter for Kyle, and then deep center, deep right, short right, and then a few behind the line of scrimmage. So you're going to have those turnover-worthy throws, on deep balls, but he also had one short center that was a turnover-worthy throw, and that was the pick, of course. So, really needed more yak yards out of the receivers, in my opinion, especially when you're throwing 0 to 10 yards consistently, and he was just over 50% there. I think, they did nothing on the left side of the field the entire day. Yeah, I think you got to spread that thing around a little bit, but let's look at, we ran through that. 1 drop officially and 1 sack, but he was under pressure 8 times. That O-line was not good at all. Not good. We'll get to the O-line grades. Let me finish the rest of the offense here. Stop sharing that. Okay. Rushing grades. Like I said, Trey, 60 yards on 19 attempts. Did have 1 forced missed tackle. Chip had 1, and X-Man had 1. Ideally, you like to see more out of Trey in those. He had a couple games back-to-back with 6 forced missed tackles recently. So we needed more of that. And just had 1 carry for 10-plus yards. That was Chip. He had a 12-yarder. Other than that, Trey's long was 8 yards. So obviously no carries over 15 yards. Trey did have a catch for 19. Most of that was yak yards, but nothing real outstanding there in the running game. Where's receiving? Load up the receiving. One sec. Yeah. So receiving grades, Marv graded out the best, 78.2. X-Man, a 72.4, but he only had 1 catch, 1 target. Trey, a 72. So those are good grades. But again, did not get it in the end zone enough. Emeka had the touch, just 24 yards receiving for Emeka, 6 targets, 3 catches. And of course, Marv had the touch on 9 targets. So not a lot of production when you look at the receiving core. Not a lot of yak yards. That's a big problem. Marv had 27 total yak yards on all of his catches, on 5 catches. That's only a 5.4 yard average. You got to be better than that. X-Man had 1 catch and for 14 yards of yak per reception, but Emeka only 8 yards of yak, 24 total yards, of course. But yeah, they got wrapped up, got tackled, you know. Forced missed tackles, just 2, one by Trey, one by Marv in the pass game. And now, if you have the stomach for it, you might want to sit down for this. Blocking grades. Let's start with pass blocking. Donovan Jackson led the way, 71.8 in pass blocking. Chip, from his halfback spot, had 2 pass blocking snaps, graded out of 70.8, did not allow pressure. But Donovan Jackson did allow a sack. Cade Stover, graded out of 70. He only had 3 pass blocking snaps. Looking at the rest of the O-line, though, Josh Simmons, 61.5, allowed 2 hurries. Hinsman, 56.1, allowed a hit. Josh Fryer, 33.7. Josh Fryer, your starting right tackle, 33.7. Remember, 60 is average. He allowed a hit and a hurry. Matthew Jones, a 4.4. That's nearly 0 in pass blocking. Allowed a hurry. Really, really tough to stomach how these grades came out. Again, though, no penalties on the O-line. You know, that really kills us in a lot of ways typically, but at least we didn't have that. Fuck. Pressures. Yeah. Fryer 2, Simmons 2, Donovan Jackson 1, Hinsman 1, Matthew Jones 1. So 7 total pressures by the O-line. Can't have that and be successful. Run blocking. This is where things get really messy. Yeah, I'm scrolling. Still scrolling. Our best offensive lineman in run blocking was a 52.4. The award goes to Josh Fryer, right tackle. Matthew Jones, a 51.8. Josh Simmons, 51.6. Carson Hinsman, 50.7. I know that Michigan's D-line, or the Cheaters D-line, I should say, is supposed to be one of the best in the country, but you can't all 5 be under 60 on the O-line. That's freaking pathetic, man. You do have to win some battles at some point, right? I mean, seriously? So, and Cade Stover was not any help in run blocking. He had 26 snaps at run blocking, 50. But he's been bad all year too. So this is more par for the course for this O-line. I mean, you can only do so much. You can only call so many plays to help your team. If guys aren't going to execute, again, I talked about this on Friday as one of my points, one of my keys, execution. And we needed the best game from the O-line, and we got basically the worst game from the O-line. So spells trouble when the O-line has its worst day. So Kyle had one of his worst graded days as well. He graded out 61.4 in pass game. So, yeah, 2 turnover-worthy plays. But he's good for about 1 per game anyway. But anyway, that's how the offense graded out. But they did still put up 24 points. Somewhat surprising to me. Anyway, we'll talk about the defense tomorrow. Talk to you guys later. Go Bucks.